Kai Leong, 18, developed an app to help detect Alzheimer's disease in seniors by tracking the gait of their walk.
Ria Karumanchi, 16, smart cane. Developed canes that use ultrasonic sensors to create vibrations to better identify obstacles and assist the sight impaired.
Michaela Ulmer, 11, me and the bees, sold lemonade made from natural flaxseed sweetener and local honey to support the endangered bee species.
Craig Kielberger, 17, Leaders Today, inspired by the story of Iqbal Masih, a Pakistani child laborer, decided to create an organization with the mission to end poverty and child exploitation, known then as Leaders Today, and globally known now as Me to We.
What did these youth have in common? They didn't let their age hold them back from being a difference maker in their society. Every single name was an example of youth harnessing their entrepreneurial spirit to create active change in not only their communities, but the world around them.
Young people are creative, curious, and passionate. But how are we as a society educating the youth of today to create impact in our community?
Looking closer to see what was happening in our community, we surveyed 343 students from 20 different high schools about their experience with the BC education system.
We were shocked to find that despite 91% of students responding saying that they prefer more hands-on learning, only 35% responded that they have access to that type of learning in their classrooms.
And that 78% of students responded saying that they had a desire to make an impact in their community, but didn't know how or where to begin.
From this, we concluded that the BC educational curriculum is lacking the opportunities for youth to turn entrepreneurial potential into entrepreneurial action. This is where we step in.
Introducing Innovate.
Innovate is an interactive program executed directly in the classroom, focused on teaching fundamental business concepts.
And provides students with an opportunity to start their own social enterprise. The program consists of 4 vital stages:
Collaboration,
education,
business development,
and final competition.
We first begin with collaboration. Every summer, we collaborate with teachers from several high schools to identify gaps in their current school curriculums regarding business knowledge and entrepreneurial development. Through meeting and listening to teachers' inputs, we were able to adapt and curate content to most effectively cater to students' needs.
Then, education. We build and deliver 8 interactive workshops focused on fundamental business skills to provide students with the tools and the framework to take action. Workshops include topics ranging from marketing, where students use graphic design programs to develop their brand, and accounting, where we provide an Excel tutorial and teach students how to create financial statements for their business. However, we also touch on important relevant themes such as budgeting, resume building, and interview preparation to develop invaluable soft skills.
Next, business development. Under the guidance of our 37 student mentors, high school students create their own mini social enterprise, creating innovative products focused towards this year's theme, waste diversion. We provide our students with a $100 microloan to kickstart their business, simulating real-world responsibilities and instilling accountability. This past year, a team from Eric Hamber Secondary in Vancouver created Osmia. Our team guided Osmia through several iterations of their product in order to help them best fulfill their mission to divert wood waste from landfills while saving the bees. They accomplished this by creating hexa houses, wooden nesting homes for pollinators made from 100% upcycled wood from construction sites.
Finally, upon conclusion of the 5-month program, students celebrated their success at our final competition. The final competition is packed with workshops, networking events, and panels for students to get the most out of their Innovate experience. Most importantly, they had the opportunity to pitch their social enterprises to a panel of judges comprised of industry professionals and an audience of 300 people. This simulates a real business environment by allowing students to practice their presentation skills under pressure.
Our team at Innovate aims to inspire, lead, and educate youth because they are the leaders of tomorrow. This is why we were excited to see just how large of an impact we were able to make.
We surveyed our student participants and discovered that 80% reported that with the help of Innovate, they felt more prepared to jumpstart their own initiatives. Not only that, but 79% said that they view entrepreneurship as a viable career path after participating in Innovate. With Innovate, we empower youth to make the change they want to see.
Through identifying this need in our community, developing the program and delivering workshops, Innovate directly impacted the lives of over 400 students
across 5 cities and 20 high schools,
who created 20 unique mini social enterprises.
Not only were 100% of young entrepreneurs able to repay their microloan, but they collectively raised over $11,000 in revenue for a profit of over $9,000.
Remember Kai from the start of this presentation? When he was in grade 10, his grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. After going through the Innovate program, he developed an app that predicts Alzheimer's in seniors based on changes in their walking or gait through an algorithm he created. We checked back with Kai a year later, and this is what he had to say.
I think that Innovate definitely played an integral role in my success with this project. Through Innovate, I was able to develop skills such as effective ideation skills as well as effective communication skills, which were extremely helpful in my presentations at national and international science fair competitions. As someone who never really resonated with textbook-based learning, which is so common in Canadian classrooms, I think that Innovate is an amazing program which empowers youth and students with practical and applicable skills to impact change in their own communities and in communities around the world.
We knew we had made a difference in the high schools, but thought, why not start sooner? For the first time, we brought our team into elementary schools through our pilot program, Roots of Innovate. We delivered similar aspects of Innovate to elementary schools in a way that's easy for younger students to digest and put into practice. With their imagination and creativity at their prime, our program channels these traits into the basics of entrepreneurial ideation.
By exposing BC's youth to ideas like leadership and ideation sooner, they are able to see that entrepreneurship is a tool available to them to create meaningful change.
Through Innovate, we created an impact on young students across the Lower Mainland, but we also wanted to take action and create the change within our own community at UBC.
This year, we introduced Cedar. With Cedar, we repurpose food that would have otherwise been wasted and serve it to the students who need it most.
The UN has published reports stressing the need to reduce food waste to protect the environment. Data shows that more than a third of all food produced globally is thrown out, spoiled, or lost. This is important because food waste has major economic, social, and environmental impacts. Once in a landfill, it wastes crucial water, energy, land, and emits toxic gases that pollute our environment. If food waste was a country, it would be the world's 3rd largest emitter.
Not only is this an issue, but our campuses are impacted by food-related problems as well. According to a survey conducted by UBC in 2019, 37% of students reported that they were food insecure. This is 3 times higher than the national average on university campuses. Why is this so high at UBC? Food insecurity is exacerbated by the campus's expensive food, combined with the increasing cost of tuition and Vancouver's notoriously high living costs.
Through collaboration with numerous UBC food groups and services, we estimated that over 3,000 meals worth of food was being wasted each week on campus. Together, we created a solution that reduces the impact of food waste while improving the lives of food insecure students.
Cedar bridges the gap between students who need food and businesses who have excess food through collecting their surplus and providing weekly community meals at UBC. Similar to the growth of a plant, our process began with planting the seed.
Then, watering the sprout.
Followed by harvesting the outcomes.
And finally, crop expansion and growth. First, we began by planting the seed. We partnered with 9 food vendors, including on-campus cafes and residence dining halls. Each week, we visited our partners to collect food that would have otherwise been wasted. On top of collecting the food waste, we encouraged the businesses to use sustainable practices. We distributed action toolkits to vendors, highlighting methods to minimize their environmental impact.
Next, we watered the sprout. After collecting food waste from our partnered vendors, we bring it to Sprout's Kitchen, a volunteer, student-run organization on campus that helps prepare and store the food. With Sprout's Kitchen, we provide weekly meals offered on a pay-what-you-can basis to lower the financial barriers for food insecure students.
Then, it's time to harvest. Through the support of our partnerships, we've exposed 9 food vendors to green business practices with our action toolkits.
Directly impacted 600 students through serving a total of 6,600 meals.
Saving these students over $90,000 in food expenses.
diverted and served 1,200 pounds of food that would have otherwise been wasted.
Preventing over 160,000 liters of water use and reducing 30,000 pounds of CO2 emissions.
After seeing our numbers, we spoke with UBC's executive chef and culinary director, David Spite, to gather his thoughts on our impact.
The fact that Enactus had done their homework and knew that keeping the food on campus is a great thing to do as well, and brought solutions forward to us before they even met with us, and I thought that was a really great initiative on their behalf. The fact that we can recover food from our kitchens that formerly went to compost and now is going to somebody that needs a great meal, I think it's really fantastic.
Finally, we found more ways to grow. We asked ourselves, how can we expand our impact beyond UBC?
We partnered with Moto, a car share company, and used their car services to further our reach through collecting food across Greater Vancouver.
We also partnered with UBC's Engineers Without Borders Club to develop an app for food vendors across Greater Vancouver to post their markdown products.
We want to harness the Kais, Rias, Michaelas, and Craigs of our community through Innovate. With Cedar, we are channeling these changemakers and creating the change ourselves.
By planting a seed in our youth, our community, and our society, we leave lasting impacts with measurable results.
With Innovate, we guided over 300 students across 5 cities to successfully create their own social enterprises. They fueled their desire to create change and embraced it through social entrepreneurship.
With Cedar, we encouraged businesses to practice sustainable habits and bridge the gap between vendors with food surplus and students in need of food.
Our mission at the beginning of the year was to better our own community and the future generations through waste diversion, tackling food insecurity, and empowering youth.
And we could not have done this alone. With the help of this year's team of 111 student volunteers, we created projects like Innovate and Cedar to reach our goals.
We are curious.
We are courageous.
We are changemakers.
We are
Enactus
UBC.